As a counterpoint to the awe and humility of the song we just joined in singing, I would like you to turn your hymnals to reading number 650 and read with me responsively. I'll read the plain type, and if you would, please respond with the words that are printed in italics. Cherish your doubts, for doubt is the attendant of truth.
Doubt is the key to the door of knowledge. It is the servant of discovery.
A belief which may not be questioned binds us to error, for there is incompleteness and imperfection in every belief.
Doubt is the touchstone of truth. It is an acid which keeps away false.
Let no one fear the truth, that doubt may consume it. Let no man fear for the truth, that doubt may consume it. For doubt is a testing of belief.
The truth stands boldly and unafraid. It is not shaken by testing.
For truth, if it be truth, arises from each testing stronger and more secure.
Those with silent doubt are filled with fear. Their houses are built on shifting sands.
But those who fear not doubt and know its use are founded on love.
They shall walk in the light of the Lord of knowledge. The work of their hands shall endure.
Therefore, let us not fear doubt, but let us rejoice in its help.
It is the wise as the staff to the blind. Doubt is the attendant of truth.
Thank you. I chose this reading this morning as we close out our month of services dedicated to thinking about mystery. We've come through the Christmas season, or we're still in the Christmas season for another few days. The three kings are still on their way to Bethlehem, not due to arrive until January 6th, when they will deliver gifts to the newborn king, a babe lying in a manger. I'm aware of that date because I had some very dear cousins when I was growing up who were from Mexico. And I got Santa Claus, and then they had to wait 2 weeks for the kid wise men to bring their gifts. The Bible story gives us a mystery. It is the mystery of a new star in the heavens that signaled the miraculous, humble birth of a great leader. But the story of the three kings is also about politics. When the three kings share their discovery with Herod, their fellow king, he is so threatened by this news that he orders the killing of every baby boy in the land, just to get rid of the new king that might one day challenge his power. And the story of the three wise men is also about the science of astronomy. Modern astronomy relies on the most elaborate kinds of mathematical calculations and the most high-tech audio and visual equipment. High-powered astronomers today don't even have to look up at night to do their work. But the ancient people did look up. And without the light pollution and many distractions that we face, they saw a lot more in the night sky than most of us ever will. Ancient astronomers mapped the night skies with great precision, and they traced the movements of stars and planets. The three wise men could tell immediately when a new star, which may actually have been a well-documented planet, appeared in the sky. Ancient astronomical calculations were precise enough to produce a calendar that was reliable enough that Mary and Joseph and everybody else who was supposed to do it could get to Bethlehem on time for the census. Our modern calendar, albeit sort of tweaked from time to time, is still based on those ancient astronomical calculations. And we still begin counting a new year when the Romans did. That's in the middle of the winter, when the weather in Europe discouraged empire-building military action, and their generals felt comfortable going home to Rome to do some politicking and run for office. So while the Christmas story overflows with mystery and wonder, it also rests on politics, science, and some hardcore recorded history. There was a King Herod under the Romans. There was a census, which is necessary for tax collection. And, as I said a minute ago, the miraculous star may have been a well-documented comet. The hard facts, the science, the spiritual inspiration, and the awe-inspiring mystery are all mashed up together in the story of Christ's birth. And it's been my experience that that's true in life as well. I particularly love the way this is expressed in the movie Shakespeare in Love. Many of you may have seen this about 10 years ago. Mr. Finnegan is the character who is putting up the money for Shakespeare's first play. And he becomes absolutely frantic when the theaters are unexpectedly closed, ostensibly because of the plague. And so he chases down the producer who had talked him into making this investment, and as his ruffian pinned Mr. Finnegan's ruffian pinned Mr. Henslow up against the wall. And then Mr. Henslow says, "Allow me to explain about the theater business. The natural condition is one of insurmountable obstacles on the road to imminent disaster." So what do? Nothing. Strangely enough, it all turns out well. How? I don't know. It's a mystery. And just at that moment, the theaters are unexpectedly reopened and the plot thickens. Now, I was working in publishing when I first saw that film, and I had to come up with endless, immutable deadlines, one after another, year after year. I slogged through a frustrating stream of insurmountable obstacles on the road to imminent disaster. And if you've worked in publishing, you know that's quite clear that way. But I derived tremendous reassurance from hanging that quotation on the wall in my cubicle. It all turns out well. It's a mystery. Just reminding myself that I don't have to have all the answers. It's okay to doubt. It's okay to feel ignorant. I can understand many things rationally and coherently, but it's okay not to. And that, for me, lifted the weight of enough anxiety that I could pull back from those chasms of awful and what if, and said to myself, one more time, right where I belong, right here, right now. So for me, looking at mystery, the mysteries in life, the mystery of love and death and life itself, being willing to take things as they come, one moment at a time, led me to a sort of Buddhist flavored comfort zone. Even though, for many people, the teachings of the Buddha seem to lead away from a sense of mystery. In a wonderful book of essays called Buddhism Without Belief, Stephen Batchelor, a well-respected teacher of Buddhism, describes the Buddha's teaching as something we learn to do, not something we learn to believe in. Batchelor says it this way: the Buddha was not a mystic. His awakening was not a shattering insight into a transcendent truth that revealed to him the mysteries of God. He did not claim to have had an experience that granted him privileged esoteric knowledge of how the universe ticks. He spoke of having discovered complete freedom of heart and mind, and freedom from the compulsions of craving. And he called such freedoms the teaching, the taste of the Dharma. He acknowledged the existence of the condition of anguish. He found its origins to be centered in self-centered craving. And he realized this could cease. And he prescribed the cultivation of the path of life, a path that embraced all aspects of human experience as an effective treatment. hard work, good dealings with other people, honesty. And for Buddhists of all stripes, respect for others, respect for all of life is foundational. It's very important. Cultivating passion and praying that all sentient beings awake to their true nature are fundamental practices. But for many Buddhists, as for many humanists and Unitarian Universalists, the reverence and awe of some religions are not so much important. Stepping off into the big wow, where human reason and individual action stops, are just not in the picture for many people, including many of us. Forrest Church, who was minister of All Souls Unitarian Church in New York City for almost 30 years, wrote about his own change in this area. Church wrote, "I began believing in a kind of rational God. It was an intellectual God. I was closer to a Jeffersonian Unitarian than I was to an Emersonian Unitarian." And elsewhere in his volume of essays, Church writes about how Jefferson took the New Testament and excised the miracles. As a man of enlightenment, he wanted the science, he wanted the history, but he didn't need the miracles. There was no big wow that made his heart sing. But for Church, as for many other people, over time, partly through crises in my own life, very much through sitting by my parishioners at their bedsides and through my father's death, God moved from my head to my heart. And as I've said many times, God is not God's name. God is our name for that which is greater than all, and yet present in all. Those quotations are from Cathedral of the World, which was the title of Church's last book before he died of cancer in 2009. That volume of short essays includes a lot of what he learned during his term of illness. He writes, for example, about a mother who came to him asking advice on how to answer a question from her little girl, and the child wanted to know, where was she before she was in her mommy's tummy? He also writes about an elderly parishioner who asked him what he thought happened after death. Then Church concludes, I don't worry very much about where I was before I was born and where I will be after I die. It's not that these are unimportant questions. It's just that for me the miracle lies in between. No experience of being that is unknown to us and probably unknowable, that is taking place before this life or will take place after, could possibly be more remarkable, more wonderful, or stranger than this life we share today. Life is a miracle couched between mysteries. The big wow. Church also writes about the stars. By cosmologists' latest reckoning, there are some 100 billion stars in our galaxy, and ours is one of perhaps 100 billion galaxies. There are as many stars in the heavens as there are grains of sand on all the earth. And that's only in our cosmos. There could be others. Divide the stars among us, and in our galaxy alone, every individual alive on Earth today could be the proud possessor of some 17 personal stars. Now that's a big wow. So what do we do, Church asks? Do we name our stars and shake our heads in humility and wonder? No. We sit on our single grain of sand on this vast cosmic beach and argue over who has the goods on God. Is it the atheist or the theist? Is it Jesus, the Buddha, Muhammad? How about Nietzsche, Gandhi, or Freud. Billions of accidents conspire to give each of these compelling teachers the opportunity even to teach. Knowing this, pondering numbers beyond anyone's record, doesn't strip me of faith. It inspires our faith. And he concludes, the principal challenge today is to find symbols and metaphors that will bring us, in all our glorious diversity, into closer and more celebratory kinship with one another, as sons and daughters of life and death. And that quotation seems to bring Forrest Church and Stephen Batchelor and the authors of the New Testament full circle, back to a common point. Whether we enrich our lives with awe and reverence, as Forrest Church urges us to do, or whether we make our days ring true with the clarity of understanding and awakening, as Stephen Batchelor encourages us to do. What matters, finally, is how we treat other people, how we choose to live and to love.